You want to listen to a song, plug your fucking AirPods in and open up Spotify. That ass, like, what the fuck are you at a club for? Especially during COVID, bro. Like,
welcome to the Empty Opinions Podcast, bitch.
I love that tag so much, man. It was one of my favorites. It definitely sets the tone, you know what I mean? Like, you know, as soon as you hear that bitch in there, you're like, this isn't gonna be no fucking NPR podcast. And then I hit him with this kind of music that I don't, you know, it's like, yeah,
nice. It's got a bounce to it.
Yeah, it's Dominican music. It's like a Dominican genre called dembow. Yeah, it's very unique. Recently, you know what's funny? I recently saw this white girl that said she listens to dembow, and I was like, wait, what? It confused me. I was like, I had to go to her DMs. I was like, wait, hold on a second. Wait, you listen to that shit? She was like, yeah. I was like, the Dominican introduced you to it? I was like, I think it was a Mexican, but who fucking knows? I was like, all right, whatever. It just caught me off guard because like that genre, that style of music is very local. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Well, more about that girl though. I mean, that you ever like? Okay, let's talk about this because this just popped up into my head. How many times do you unsend messages on Instagram?
No,
I don't either. I think that's the most loser shit you could ever do.
It's say with your chest.
Yeah, exactly. It's like so loser. It's like guys that slide into girls' DMs, right? And if they get left unseen, they unsend the message. I don't fucking do that. That's for losers. Like I don't. You know what I mean? Just take the L and just move on. Like why do you gotta? Because it makes it look worse. It makes it look worse, right? When you like unsend a message and the girl might know that you unsent it, even though it doesn't say it. She probably, oh, it was this guy.
Dude, I kid you not, probably like once every 5-6 days, I have my phone blow up and it's such and such or this person has unsent a message. I'm like, who the fuck is unsending messages, bro?
Yeah, especially after a long time, probably it's like, who's going back to the convo and being like, oh, I don't like that. It's like, no, just let it go. I feel like people get stuck in that.
Yeah.
I got mad because one of my friends told me, she said, you look like you unsend messages. And I mean, that was probably the worst insult anybody has ever told me. I was like, I cannot believe, like I was so offended. I was like, I can't believe this is how you think of me. This is crazy. All right, we have, just introduce yourself, your name and what you do really quickly because I don't want to mess up your name.
What's up? My name is Ron B. I'm the DJ in the city of Philadelphia.
All right, we got Ron B in the house.
Shout out my man Eladio for having me too, man. Mad love.
Thank you for showing up because I mean, yeah, let's just talk about it. Are you a professional DJ? You are a professional DJ, right?
What do you consider professional? I have this conversation with my dad all the time.
Getting paid from it.
Absolutely.
And making a living. That's professional. I think it's as simple as that. And you get paid from it and you make a living, right?
You do it as a profession, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what a professional... Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, the goal for anybody who does anything creative is just to get paid from it. You know, even enough to make a living out of it or just enough in general. Like, I'm waiting for the time that comes with this fucking podcast, you know what I mean? Or any other content that I'm making. You know, I think that's just the goal for anybody. So, yeah, you are a professional DJ. I don't think there's any debate with that. Let's talk about like the misconceptions of DJing because there's a lot of them. People, it's like a quick joke that everybody makes about DJing that always confuse me because I remember DJing is something that is being in the back of my head, not as a profession or anything, but just like as a hobby because I like music.
Right.
So it was like I always find it cool when people are able to make like transitions and like mess with the songs and do like because I love like perfect transitions from song to song. It's like one of my favorite things to listen to. So I downloaded the DJ Pro app. What's it? DJ?
What was that, like on your iPad or a MacBook?
Well, I did it. Yeah, the algorithm, DJ software, and I would mess around with it, and I would be able to kind of do it, but not really. And that's where I was like, I don't understand how anybody can make fun of DJing. Because people think DJing is just playing one song after another.
Right.
That's not what DJing is. You actually have to... Okay, well, I'll let you explain it. Because, I mean, you're the DJ. So like, what does that bother you, the misconceptions that people have? Or, like, the kind of jokes that people make about certain shit? Like, things like that?
Yes and no. Because at the end of the day, it's like... It's just smoke in the air to me. Right? Like, anybody could buy a MacBook and... play some music and say they're a DJ. And I had this conversation last night with one of my friends. I was like, look, there's people that play music, and then there's people that DJ, right? Just because you could have a MacBook or equipment or whatever the hell you have doesn't mean like you know how to read a crowd. You know how to show up to somebody's wedding day with the right music, like the right vocals, because you have to make announcements at private events like that. You have to be able to know what this crowd wants if they didn't tell you. And as a rookie, like I struggled with that even at college parties. You went to Temple, right?
Yeah.
I did a lot of college parties at Temple when I first came, and like I knew how to DJ in a basement,
right?
DJing for mixes for myself. But now I'm at a frat house, and I'm like, I really don't know if like what I practice at home is when it's gonna work here.
Yeah. So you create a set beforehand, or how? Yeah. How does that work? So you create a set beforehand, but how does that? Okay. So do you do it?
No.
Okay. So you go off of just.
I go off the dome, but I'll also like, for example, if I'm doing a wedding, I'm asking you, what songs do you want to hear? What songs do you not want to hear? When I'm at the club, I might practice around for like the hour, like 5 p.m. before I get to the club at 9, and I'm just gonna blow all my steam off just to warm up, and it might refresh my memory. But I'm not going into the club saying, hey, this is the folder of music I prepared for the night, and this is the only folder I'm playing.
Yeah,
some people do that shit,
right? And I feel like that doesn't really work because you can't really, like you said, you got to read the crowd. So it's like,
what if you have to take a left turn?
Exactly.
What if you want to have some more fun?
Yeah, exactly. Something like, okay, this will go great here or whatever. But I never thought about the songs that people don't want to hear. That's a good point because I never thought about that. You always think it was like, has there been, okay, in your experiences as a DJ, are there any experiences you can remember where like you played a song that there was like an audible, invisible reaction that people did not like? Like,
I'm sure there has. I'm trying to think of one.
Yeah, because I mean, I can just imagine. I mean, it's not like in my head. I'm just picturing you playing like whatever song, and the people was like, "Boy!" It's just like, yeah. People,
I get that all the time, though.
Yeah, people do this. People just going crazy in the crowd.
So on my birthday, I was playing at a spot in Cherry Hill. I won't name no names. And I'm going in. Like, I know I'm going in because the entire crowd is rocking with me, except for the table right in front of the DJ booth. Oh. And they're in my ear like this, or they're in my face like this.
Oh,
like, just cut the music out, cut the music out. They wanted some ATL shit the entire night.
Were they important, or were they just in the front?
Absolutely. They were just in the front.
Oh my god, that's like heckling for comedians. Just like a group of like whatever, how many people, 5 people or whatever. Like, nah, yeah.
And it was like it was very nerve wracking, and it was also like, damn, these people don't fuck with me. Right. And then you look past them, and it's like,
yeah, but everybody else is having fun. Yeah, exactly. Do you, when it comes to transitions, how do you do that? Because I find this interesting. Do you ever like come across certain transitions from song to song by accident, and then you keep that in the back of your head?
Hell
it's
yeah.
like, oh, this will go great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by practicing and like preparing your sets. So like we were talking about earlier, I don't prep my sets for a certain gig or a certain event, but my folders on my Serato are very detailed to a point where if I download music, I know exactly where I'm looking. So think about back in the day before we had laptops. You're going to the club with crates of records, right?
Yes.
Like milk crates full of records.
Right.
How are you gonna find that song if you're gonna go through like 100 records? You know what I mean?
Like,
that's crazy. You'd be digging like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, which one's
here?
next?
So
yeah, exactly.
Now I know where my shit is.
Yeah.
So I'm all over the place, but I know like, all right, this is in this folder, this is over here. Right. And it works perfect for me.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's good that you kind of know where to pull from whenever like since you're going with the flow. How do you when it comes to actually DJing, what are all the things that go into it? Specifically, when you have a song, you have to go to the next one, because this is a part that people don't understand, because they think you just like do a cross dissolve and just cross dissolve from one song to the other, and then that's the mix. Like, what are the different aspects of it that people don't realize? Okay, you gotta check this, you gotta check that. Like,
I think music is all math, right? So when you say if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right? You're counting to 4.
Right.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
That's a bar.
Right.
So for me personally, my style of DJing is I like to play a verse and a chorus, or like a quick chorus and out. So when that chorus hits, a chorus will be 32 beats, 8 bars.
Right.
So by the time the chorus is over, I want to make sure the second song is coming in, and as soon as the chorus is over, next song is on.
Oh, that's interesting. So you don't even really think of the song as just whatever the chorus is. You just know it as time. Like the chorus is 38 beats.
32, yeah.
32 beats. So that's just, you just count that kind of in your head, or you just have that in mind instead of like listening to what's actually going on in the song.
Basically, and then it's like sound frequencies, right? So if I'm playing a song on the right, and the next song is coming in on the left, I might cut the bass out on the right song that's already playing, so you can hear the bass of the left song. And then by the time the chorus on the right is over, the song is fully in effect on the left, and the song on the right is muted because the chorus is done.
Right. Yeah, that all that kind of stuff, I find it fascinating. What do you think about those apps? Like, I know there's this one app on the Apple Store that is almost kind of, it's like a DJ app kind of. What the fuck is it called? I don't remember what it's called, but it does transitions for you. Have you ever seen this app?
No.
Like, they recently, I used to use it all the time, but they started charging, so I'm not using it anymore. But that's how I would get my DJ fix almost, right? Because they were able to do it. And I don't know. Like, I've always found DJing fascinating because, okay, so when you're a DJ, that means you also have to kind of keep up with all the music that comes out, right? Do you?
Yeah.
Right, that's it. I feel like it's a rough thing about it because you also need to know, okay, what's popular. You need to keep track of like, oh, this is, and also like the different crowds of like, they're more into like this more underground type of, or these people want more popular music. What's your favorite genre of music to DJ?
To DJ? I think recently I found what I really want to do is I want to do more like upscale events. Right? So I want to do art shows. I want to do some weird vibey shit where like I could play, I'm Indian. I could play a whole reggaeton set better than probably your favorite Latin DJ. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's what's cool. Yeah.
I play a dancehall set. I play Indian music. I love 90s hip hop. I love R&B. I really don't like playing mumble rap. I really hate it. Really
Have you ever had to?
I mean, yeah, mumble rap's been around for like 6-7 years.
It's
so
been popular,
being in the clubs, I have to play.
Yeah, that's interesting. The upscale thing is interesting. Like, will you do like one of those weird events that are happening now where it's just headphones? Like everybody has headphones. Event? Yeah, would you do that?
Nah, the budget's not big enough.
Wait, what do you mean? Like
they don't pay enough.
Really? They don't? Oh, well, I guess because it's headphones, they probably think less. They have to put less money. It's a smaller company
ran, so it's like $200 for a set. I get it. You got 3 DJs, so if you have a DJ budget of $600, everybody will get $200.
Yeah.
But
okay, what is? Does that pay well? Is DJing? Is that a legitimate like when you go up there? I imagine it is because I mean I feel like you hear DJs like, I mean I've seen even actors that are getting into DJing. Have you seen that? Like the Hoarder from Game of Thrones is a fucking
Shaquille
DJ.
O'Neal.
Yeah, just random people.
Paris Hilton,
Elijah Wood. Yeah, they're all like fucking DJs. It's like wait, what?
Yo, man, to each their own, man. Everybody DJing is like, I feel like it's so universal where like real recognize real, even if you don't play the same shit. But like you don't have to scratch, you don't have to do crazy turntable stuff to be a DJ. As long as you can rock the party, I'm fucking with you. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's a very unique skill set too, like just guiding the vibe of a party. Like as somebody who I've realized this about myself, I kind of like try to control the flow as opposed to go with the flow, and that's gotten me in a lot of issues and troubles. Like you know what I mean? Like I have a hard time just going with the flow. So whenever like I have a party or a get together, I always want to control how everything is going, right? Like I hate the little fucking small like
micromanaging.
Like awkward silences. I hate that shit. Like I have to say something or do something. So I can only imagine that's like what DJing is. You kind of have to really control the vibe of it.
You're the puppet master in a room full of dancers.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the job is so simple, and people miss this fact. It's my job as a DJ at a wedding is to cater and make people dance. My job at a club is to make sure I'm selling drinks and bottles and making sure people are having a good time. If I'm not selling drinks and bottles by playing the right music, why are you booking me?
Right. So what does that mean? How does music get to that?
Okay. You've been to a club before, or you've probably
I've been to a club. Yeah,
forgot you're not.
well, I've been to a club like I've been inside of
Right.
it. You know what I mean? Not like
So at 10 o'clock, doors open in Philly,
right.
and who's in the club at 10 o'clock?
Early, I mean, the people who
People that work there,
Yeah.
or the fucking losers. You know what I mean? If you're at the club at 10 o'clock, bro, clearly you don't have a pregame to go to. You have nothing else to do.
Yeah, you're just waiting for the people to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it's 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
I'm playing for the staff because
Yeah.
I like to get to clubs an hour early.
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock, I'm in the doors at 9 sharp. My former partners, like past girl. Damn, I can't even speak. My past girlfriends, they'd hate it. Like, I'm not ready yet. Well, I'm like, I gotta get to work.
Well, yeah, that's your work. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, yeah.
And they're like, yo, but music's on at 10. I'm
No,
like,
it's
but
not.
I like to be an hour early.
Yeah.
So about 9:15, 9:20, I'm already done setting up, doing a sound check, probably kicking game to one of the bartenders, taking
Yeah.
a shot with them, and then I'm already using the bathroom. So by like 9:45, I'm ready to go.
Yes. So do you so what do you do? This is an interesting question I've been thinking about. So for that, like for the beginning, before other people really start to get there, what do you play? Do you play the music that you like? Because I've always wondered how do so when you're a DJ, that's the thing that kind of bothers me about it. Do you completely have to remove your whatever music you like from the DJ set?
I think it depends on who you are. Personally, for me, I have this rule called 2 for you, 1 for me.
Okay,
So I'll play 2 for the crowd, 1 for me. And
interesting.
then 2 for the crowd, 1
Yeah.
for me.
That works. Does that
It makes it
interesting.
more fun.
Yeah, I think so because I've always wondered, like, because like you said, like your job as a DJ, if you're in a club, is to sell, drinks and bottles and all that, and if you're just in a regular event, just to get them to dance. But like, I've always wondered if that throws off the vibe at all. I guess it just depends on what song that you personally choose, and do they have to know the song? Do you ever play a song that you kind of know the crowd doesn't know, or is
Yeah.
is that a sin when you're a DJ?
Nah, I think it's actually impressive playing music that people haven't heard, people forgot about, or it's just brand new. Like, think about when In the Club came out in 2003, I think, or
Right.
2005. And Funk Flex from New York was the first one to drop it on radio.
Yeah,
People are like, yo, what the hell is
That's
this?
true.
But it was
Yeah.
going crazy.
that's true. So I guess you also kind of you're a tastemaker a little bit when you're a DJ.
We're influencers, low key.
Yeah, that's what I. So then again, that puts even more pressure on you to keep up with the new music that comes out. I can only imagine. Yeah, because something I've done, because sometimes I like we've already established, I like controlling the flow, so I like to choose the music.
Right.
One of my problems is I don't do the 2 for me or 2 for them, 1 for me. I do like all for me. Like I sometimes get carried away. I just look at all my favorite songs and they're
Yeah.
like, I'm playing it. I'm like, this isn't the song that people would generally
People are like, yo, what the fuck are you playing?
Yeah, I was like, wait, I thought this was tough. I'm listening to 22 G's. Y'all don't like 22 G's? Do you know 22 G's?
I know of 22
Okay.
G's. I was told never to play them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like-
yeah.
And I asked the story behind it, and my best friend is like
Yeah.
into the music. He's like, yo, you play Pop Smoke, you can't play 22 G's. But the
Wow.
way I know you're set, you play Smoke, you probably will never play 22. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, cool, I'm not going to download it.
Yeah, because does that have to do with this, like the rivalry, I guess, or
Yeah.
something like that? Yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, just in general, like I feel like you gotta be careful when you play drill music because I feel
Yeah.
like people I mean, talk about controlling the vibe of the room. I mean, people are gonna go fucking nuts if you start playing some drill shit. That shit just makes you want to go violent. I don't know what it is.
I used to play at a spot in Pennsauken, right across the bridge.
Yeah.
Right? And 3 fights broke out that night. 3 fights. One of the
Okay.
fights broke out to Mariah Carey.
Oh, interesting.
One of the fights broke out to 80s freestyle music.
okay.
To a point where I had a jazz mix on my
Yeah.
laptop. I played that for 5 minutes while they were calming the shit down.
Yeah.
And then they're like looking at me, and my best friend hops on the mic like, nah, since y'all can't fucking party to shit, this is what we're gonna listen to for the next 5 minutes.
Okay, and they just start playing that. Yeah, because I mean, if you start fighting during Mariah Carey, I mean, there's some hope for you, man. I
80s
mean,
freestyle, bro.
Yeah, 80s free. Yeah, everybody just wants to have fun and starts jumping around. Yeah, like start breakdancing and
Come on, bro.
So maybe somebody started like breakdancing and one of their like they kicked somebody and that's how the fight started. I don't know, but what made you want to start DJing?
Oh,
What's
man.
the origin story of Ram B?
The origin story. Okay. I think it was a few family parties when I was 8th grade. So I know I was less than 14, 13 years old because I started at 14 or right before I turned 14. And I was at family parties and I just sat next to the DJ. I just like, the dance floor was on and I was like, yo, I like being on this side better. And I didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Right.
No idea.
Yeah.
But I was just like asking for like, yo, how do I do this? What are you doing now? And he was cool enough to like kind of explain shit to me. And from that point on, I was like, yo, DJs make mad bread too. Like,
Right.
At the time, like rates were $100 an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so
yeah, that's good.
music, being on this side of the DJ booth, partying lifestyle, and getting paid the way I want to get paid instead of your, $8 an hour minimum wage job?
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. I can totally see you being like, yeah, I'd rather
like
do
12,
that.
13 years old. You're
Yeah.
like, yo, this shit is banging,
Yeah,
yo.
I don't see anything wrong with that. What have you discovered that is like the cons of DJing?
The cons of DJing. Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, from the way you're describing it, it sounds perfect. But there's gotta
I'm
be
living the dream.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. But I always want to know, like, okay, what are the little things that are like
Cons.
annoying?
Okay.
It's not necessarily like it's horrible, but everything has its own little things that you can nitpick. So.
My work schedule is like the opposite of everybody I love. Like my family.
Yeah.
When they're off, when my family's working, or my best friends that are not in the creative scene, when they're working, it's Monday to Friday.
Right.
When I'm at home, Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So if I want to hang out and I'm free, it's like, yo, let's kick it. I got work in the morning. Now, they want to hang out on the weekends, and I'm traveling. I'm at clubs. I got to be in Philly instead of being back home in North Jersey. I can't see my mom, dad, my sister. And I'm working on the weekends, and they're free. So there's a lot of FOMO time, you know?
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's definitely... Yeah, just a weird schedule of when, DJing, it's...
More on the weekends.
Right, exactly. Just like
I think that's like my biggest con. Where like, honestly, at this point in my life, it's like either you're worth my time or I gotta work. It's like I gotta really debate. Like, do I want to work this week or do I want to take this weekend off and take this girl out on dinner? What's more important to me?
Yeah, that's the fucking classic struggle of like career versus like relationships or whatever. It's like, yeah, that can be difficult and. Yeah, I mean the person that you're with, isn't that funny that they almost never really get it?
They don't understand
it. It's very hard for them. Because women are kind of egotistical just in general, so they will never understand. Are you picking that over me? That doesn't make sense.
Fucking like, right, I am.
yeah. To them, it's like so crazy that notion. It's like, yeah, it's not that. I mean, it's you're making money from it. It's your profession. It's your dream job, like you said. I mean, what the fuck? It's right. Like, yeah. How do you bring that up to them? How do you say, okay, everything else has to be around this, including you?
How do I bring that around them? I'm straight up. Like, it's just like, look, this is my job. And I remember, like, this girl I was talking to, like, a few years ago, like, New Year's ago.
Yeah.
We just started talking, like, 10 days before New Year's. And I'm working at the club on New Year's. I bought her out, and I was like, look, before I take you to the club, I want you to understand that any girl that comes in the DJ booth is either a bottle girl, a promoter, or a model. And I'm in the club with you. You're in my booth. If these girls walk in, it's just work. Okay. And I was like, if you're not ready for that, you could stay home.
Right. Yeah, because the jealousy that could come from that, just seeing.
It was a young relationship, so it was like I had to be clear with you, like this is what my job is, and this is what I'm doing with you. And
right. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Okay, what has been the biggest celebrity you've been around? Like from just partying or being in the party scene that you can remember? Or at least maybe not the biggest, but the one that stands out to you the most.
The one that stands out me to the most. Obviously, I see Ben Simmons in the club a few times.
That's cool.
I don't really care.
Did you tell him start shooting threes?
No, I can't stand Ben Simmons. I'm not a Sixers fan. Like him? I hate Ben Simmons.
Okay, hold on. I gotta go change the camera real quick. So please, while I go change the camera, I want you to go and explain to me why do you hate Ben Simmons? Why do you hate him so much?
Am I being recorded?
Yeah, you're getting recorded.
Oh shit. Nah, I can't do this.
Wait, why? Does he see him too much?
Nah, I mean, I see Ben Simmons and, like, I don't know. I feel like he's a kid my age that's, like, the prince of the city, right?
Right.
So it's like, okay, you're a kid my age and just causing trouble. Dudes love you more than the girls do. You know what I mean? You walk into the club and 30 dudes got their phones out and the girls are like, well, who the fuck is that?
Right. So
but 30 dudes got their flashes out.
Right.
And then they demand respect in the club. They'll come in and unannounced, right? So now we don't have enough security for you. You are a high profile fucking person in this city. You know how Philly gets.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're just going to come and announced and we don't have enough security for you. And I can't speak for all the venues, but I think it's just like, he's just a 23, 24-year-old kid with money and he's kind of an asshole.
Oh, interesting. So he's like that kind of like that type.
Yeah.
Of like rich Okay, I understand. I can see why.
You're not from here. I'm not from here either, but it's like, bro, respect the city a little bit. Start shooting some fucking threes too.
Right. I mean, exactly. I think that's my biggest issue with him. But so you don't feel like he kind of respects Philly? That's interesting.
Not like,
or just the way he acts around people from Philly is what
the second one. Yeah.
I
don't want to get in too much trouble. Like, I might get fired.
Oh, right. Well, what? I mean, look, this is me talking right here.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is a fucking asshole. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like,
I see Ben Simmons. I've seen him a lot before COVID in the random clubs, but I think the coolest celebrity I've been around, Chadwick.
Oh,
Chadwick
you've been around him?
So my first night DJing at Noto ever. Noto's the spot on 12th and Vine. It's the biggest club in the city. Like Meek Mill's good friends with the owners and shit.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, I opened for DJ Hollywood. Shout out DJ Hollywood. This is like my OG.
Shout out DJ Hollywood.
Opening is like the earlier set, and then he headlined the main set. So I was on from 10 to 12:30, I believe, and then he played for the rest of the night. And at the end of the night, Chadwick walked into the booth. I think Saquon was there that night, or that might have been another night. But Chadwick was in the booth, and it was just like, it was cool. I just went like this.
Yeah, exactly.
I just been like that, and he just gave me a head nod, and I was like, I fuck with you.
Right. Damn. Yeah. Rest in peace. That's crazy. Yeah, that you got to see him.
And it was my first night DJing at Noto, so his loss kind of hurt because that was like a memorial night for me. It was like first time in the big club in Philly. And I saw Chadwick, so losing him about like what was it, a month ago, 5-6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was crying in the club, bro.
That's crazy.
That I was crying.
No, that was a big loss. That was a fucking crazy loss. I mean, if right when you think 2020 can get fucking worse, then that happens. You're like, what the fuck? But you're mentioning like your first night of Notos, right? And you told me all these clubs in Philly. I don't know shit about the club life in Philly.
Right.
I want you to explain to me, I guess, because it almost sounds like almost like if you ever played 2K, like My Player, how you go through like stages, you start climbing up, and you go through some certain obstacles. It almost sounds like a video game. Like what is the journey to becoming like a big DJ, just in general? But
look, I don't know the journey because I'm not there yet. You know
but let's say in Philly.
I could speak from my experiences, and
because I feel like you said, you got to DJ at Notos. I feel like that's an accomplishment, like
huge.
You said. So
it was huge at the time. I still put it on my resume. But for somebody that comes to Philly to go to school at Temple, I was a second-year transfer student. So I didn't dorm. I lived on 17th and Montgomery, if you're cool with that area, right? And only person I knew was my sister's sorority sister, who was my neighbor, coincidentally, right? So I'm coming here at 18, about to just turning 19 years old. I'm 24 now. I'm trying to get my name out. So I'm doing frat parties. I'm doing like DJing on campus for free at the Bell Tower.
Right.
All that shit is free. But I was doing a lot of house parties from a point where I'm coming to class Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Monday hungover. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, like, my parents are a little wealthy because they came here and worked. They worked their asses off.
Nothing. Listen,
I won't say wealthy. I'm saying we're well off. We're not,
well off. I mean, here's the thing. There's a certain thing. You mentioned that this is kind of making me mad because the fact that you kind of even have to clarify that, because people have this weird, like, as soon as you maybe mention that you have money or like you're this or that, people are like, almost see you as a different person. Like, put all these fucking different assumptions in your head. We're like, I've been talking to you for like 35 minutes now, right? You're just sounding like a person to me. I'm not thinking, oh, maybe he has money. And then as soon as you mentioned you may have money, I'm like, oh, you got money. He's a completely different person.
Let me clarify. Like, my dad's turning 60 in a few months, and he still works at 4 a.m. every fucking day. I wake up. I leave my studio at 4 a.m., which is my basement, because I moved in with my parents. Yeah. And when I hear the water turn on, I'm like, all right, time to go to bed. Because I know my dad's in the shower.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's Monday to Friday, and he works 12, 13-hour shifts.
Crazy.
And he just recently started owning the store. Like, you know, it's a corner store. It's a poppy shop. But
it's hard work is what you're trying to say.
40 years of working there.
Yeah, exactly.
So he could put 2 kids through college.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
You know what I mean?
It just annoys me that, like, people have this weird connotation with that. You know what I mean? When, like, you can just talk to somebody as a person, and you shouldn't really start thinking about that.
Are you from an immigrant family?
Yeah. I was born in the Dominican Republic.
And you moved here when you were young, right?
Yeah, when I was 11. I moved to Philadelphia. So, yeah, totally know, like, the things of, like, your parents moving to a new country to then provide for you. And it's funny, now that we're talking about this, so how was it then bringing up this idea of wanting to be a DJ? Because if it's consistent with how my fucking journey is going so far, it's weird because your parents kind of want you to be... Because when they come to the United States, they're thinking, okay, they have this opportunity now to do the most professional, to be like, let's say a lawyer or a doctor or whatever in the United States, which is the biggest place where you could be that.
It pays well.
Exactly. And they want to open those opportunities for you. So I feel like when my parents moved to this country, they're like, okay, we want them to be a lawyer. It's very hard to then tell them, I don't want to be a lawyer. And now they're just like, oh.
There's mad pressure.
Now they're like... Yeah, it's mad pressure. It's like now you're just like, and then to me, like also the pressure comes in. Okay, I don't want to disappoint them, I want to show them that I am gonna be successful, and I think at the end of the day, that's really what you have to do is show them I am gonna be successful. This, moving to this country is gonna be worth it because I'm gonna take advantage of all the opportunities. But they see it as what's the safest way for him to be successful.
What's the safest? And the worst part is. If my sister's watching this, my sister's 3 years older. She's going to be a fucking eye doctor next year. Wow. Right? And then you got the younger son that's a DJ.
Right.
My sister studies in her room. When she's not at rotations for 8-9 hours of the day, she's in her room studying for her board exams. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm I'm playing Xbox and working on music in the basement all day.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, because I have an older sister too, an older half sister, and that's kind of the same thing. I mean, sure, her graduating from college or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, she's doing this." So
what are you doing?
Exactly. It's. But I think what I've realized from my parents, the thing that's made it easier is that I think they see that I'm not going to be a bum. I think at the end of the day, that's really what they care about. They don't want you to squander the opportunities that they didn't have growing up. But they also want you to be a specific thing, but you kind of have to break that. Like, I'm not going to be that. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. But I got distracted when you brought up,
parents.
But
explaining it to my parents was hard because I brought it up to them in like 2011 when I was 13, about to be turning 14.
Oh, that's pretty young.
This is what I want to do. And my parents didn't take it serious at one point. And like it got to a point where I would battle with them like verbally, like, hey, like this is what I want to do. And I was sneaking out of my house. I would say I'm sleeping over my friend's spot, but take a cab to the club to just learn the game. Like I'm not playing music, but I'm watching the DJs and they're explaining shit to me. And then from that, I got introduced to a bunch of private parties, Sweet 16 DJs, wedding DJs. So I was becoming part of the setup crew. So I'm learning how to wire up the mixer and turntables and speakers, where like a lot of DJs skip that step. You tell them to go to the club.
They probably forget. It was like, oh, I also, besides DJing, I also have to set up a lot of this shit.
So you can't just show up with your laptop and think
it's already going to be
If something's not working, you got to troubleshoot.
Yeah.
So luckily for me, like that was step 1, and then learning how to DJ was step 2. Learning how to set everything up and troubleshooting wires was step 1 for me. So I feel like I've always had like an advantage in the game. And then when I started working with them, I was getting paid a little bit just to set up speakers and lifting speakers and lights. And my mom actually came down to an agreement with me. She was like, okay, I see you're getting paid. You're being safe. I know the people you're working with. I know their parents. You keep up your grades. You can keep doing it.
Okay.
You get bad grades, you're not allowed out the house because clearly you're sneaking out.
Yeah, right.
Right. So I'm like, all right, well, I got to keep good grades. And I hated school. I hated school a lot. So what am I going to do? I'm going to cheat my way through or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Figure it out.
Look, man, C's get degrees.
It is what it is. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
C's get degrees.
I mean, I mean, the thing with grades is that I've never had trouble with like really bad grades because I feel like I just think with school is really simple if you really break it down. They tell you what to do, you just have to do it. It's really that simple.
And in high school, I didn't want to do shit. But when I came to college, it was like, okay, if I don't do shit, I'm spending and blowing money for no reason.
Yeah, right. You got that in the back of your head. Yeah,
so
especially
it's like,
with college.
And the other thing I always tell myself, and you could probably relate to this, is my parents came here with nothing.
Right. Yeah.
I have no option but to be great. I have no other option.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can remember. I mean, because my dad moved to the United States like a year before we came, kind of to make it easier. So like to figure everything out so that the rest of the family can come. And then I remember moving to Third and Lehigh.
Okay.
I was about to say the exact address. There's people living there that is not me, so I can't really fucking do that. But basically, in this house when we got there, it was like we got the living room and then the basement were the rooms because the rooms upstairs were rented. And then I remember clearly when we moved, literally all there was just kind of this chair, this like small TV, and then the fridge. There was like a bottle of iced tea. That's all there was in the house. And I mean, to see where I'm at now, and it's kind of, you really have to think back on that. Like, that's where you started, and you just, like you said, you have no option but to keep going up and up. But yeah, I can totally relate to you in that way. But we also left off where we were talking about when you first came to Temple, and then you started to doing gigs for free, and figuring that out.
Okay. So I was DJing house parties, bro. There was nights. Like I said, my parents had a little bit of money, and if I ever asked for money, my dad would always give it. But shit was a little like shaky at home, where I had too much of a pride to ask my dad or my mom for money. So I'm DJing. I would tell people my rates are 75, and they're like, "Yo, we only got 40 tonight because it's a Wednesday for wine night."
Yeah.
I'm carrying my speakers 7 blocks, coming home, grabbing my turntable, my backpack, carry it 7 blocks. That night, I'm leaving my equipment at the house and walking home. Yeah. And they're like, yo, tomorrow I'm going to deposit money, and I'm going to come back with the lift so I can put my speakers in there and come home.
Yeah.
And then I got into the fraternity life.
How's that? I want to kind of how is that? I mean, how is that compared to the idea that fraternities? I mean, talk about two things that people kind of don't really understand: fraternities and DJing. Those are two things right there. It's a deadly combo.
That's the title right there.
Yeah, yo, that's true.
Frat boy DJ.
Yo, frat boy. Yo, there we go. I'm gonna write that shit down because I'm gonna forget. Yeah.
So with title. Greek life, I mean, my sister and my older cousin were in Greek life, and that was like the sorority aspect. So. Coming into Philly, I felt like being a DJ was an asset to all these fraternities, right? Like, oh, we got a DJ. Like, our new brother is a DJ.
Yeah.
And my first semester, it was like, it felt very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not natural. It wasn't. Like it was not organic. Yeah, it was forced.
Yeah.
And it was like these guys were just showing me love, and it was like.
I was jaded, bro. That would bother me, like weird. Yeah, like being for. I guess because when you're in a fraternity, you're supposed to, support the people inside. But that would bother me so much if I feel like anything is like fake or not genuine. That would bother me.
They wanted me to become their brother. I'm not even pledging at the time.
Right.
It's like, yo, we want you to be our brother.
Okay.
But it's like, yo, if you really fucked with me as your brother, wouldn't you make sure I get paid at the end of the night instead of giving me singles and then Venmo me the second half? Like, I've seen 20s in your hand. I made sure your party rang off.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, that's the thing with those type of... And I don't know. I wonder if sororities are different in that way.
They might be. So, with the first semester...
care more, yeah.
With the first semester, it was like... I was kind of jaded because it was like I was meeting new people. I didn't know anybody, and... It was just like, yo, people are trying to take advantage of my presence and like what I'm really doing and don't really give a fuck about who I really am. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to play cool and just keep DJing their parties. I'll DJ their parties. I'll DJ their parties. Call it a day. And then the fraternity that I'm part of now, they hired me in the second semester. And from the moment I walked into the house, it was, yo, what the fuck? And I'm like, yo, we would have brought your speakers up if you called us. We were outside.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
yeah,
what?
That's crazy, yeah.
People carrying my speakers for me?
Yeah.
And, like, I remember vividly, it was like my best friend Jay was there with me, and somebody spilled next to my controller, my mixer. And before I even looked over, they have a brother wiping it down.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like, hospitality was on another level.
So now you're starting to see what this fraternity thing is really about.
So like, this one is like, oh, I could get down with this. And over time, it was like, yo, let's come play ball. It wasn't forced. Like, yo, you have to be here tonight. There's gonna be mad girls. I'll even smoke you up. Like, bro, I don't care about any of that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, treat me as a regular human being, like you want to be my friend. Get to know me, not the DJ. You know what I mean?
Right, because they will probably just see you, like it's just the DJ. Oh, you're here to do this, and that's it. Yeah. Okay, and then through that, then what? Like,
bro, I got brothers that book me in DC every year.
Wow.
Brothers in Queens that book me in Queens at St. John's University every year. It just opened so many more doors up.
That's okay.
So many doors.
And that's why people do frat boys. Not frat boys, fraternities.
Yeah.
That's what frat boys stick together is the point of this.
Like, think about it this way, right? Like, it's already easy enough if you're a business major because you got other business major brothers.
Yes.
But for somebody to come in and just go to different schools in my organization, have a bed to sleep on, and getting paid in different cities, bro, I'll take it. You know what I mean? People talk shit about Greek life all the time, and I tell them the same thing. Like, you get what you put in. And on campus, I was chapter president. I was very social with other organizations. Like, I've won a few awards. And then there's people that come here for the girls and parties, and that's what they leave with.
Right.
I feel like I left with a lot more because I put in a lot more into it.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of saw both. You had almost kind of had those two experiences of what, like, maybe not what fraternities are supposed to be versus what they are, right? Like, you kind of had those two experiences. So it's not like, it's like in anything in life, there's like good fraternities maybe and bad fraternities. So
and
like,
it could be like the school. It might be like a good fraternity, but that school has dumbass brothers.
Right. Exactly. The people, like the people inside of it was fucking it up. So it's
like
not
the guidance was a little off. Like, I still go to my fraternity house and kick it with the young bulls. You know what I mean? I still do, and I spit game to them. Like, look, I'm not gonna be the angry alumni that just come in here and shitting on you guys.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you guys, yo, go have some fun, but also be professional and just don't be a weirdo or incriminate yourself when you do certain things. Like, don't be scared to have a personality. Like, I'll always spit game to them.
That's good. That's good that you go back and like talk to them as well.
To be honest, bro, I moved out of Philly, about November, about 5-6 months ago.
Okay.
So when I have gigs
right
in
before
Philly, right during COVID, like,
oh, okay, yeah,
I moved out in like early April.
Okay.
So I remember doing 420 at home.
Oh, that's funny.
But like, I've been having a lot of Philly gigs, Cherry Hill gigs, and I sleep on the floor in a bedroom of my frat house. And people think it's like, oh, it's all good and shit. Like, bro, I woke up with sniffles this morning. The heat don't work in the frat house. Especially sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
But it's cool because, you know what? I'm here. I'm working.
At least you're able to stay somewhere, right? Yeah. Whenever and you're making money. So
would I rather drive an hour and a half and back and forth for 4 days in a row, or would I just stay here and use the assets I have?
You need to do what you can.
It's part of the dream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The struggles are part of it. It's not like it's all sweet. It's like it's all there.
But I don't have the hotel room every night.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? Like, tomorrow I have a hotel room because AC takes care of us. But usually we don't have all the access and shit like that.
Yeah, and the goal is just to get to a point where that is. But you have to go through certain shit to get to that point. How do you get respect as a DJ?
How do you get respect as a DJ?
Like, what comes, how, because I feel like the way you're talking and everything that you're saying, it seems to me that, like, that's very important in that world.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll say, obviously, accolades, you know what I mean? Like, your awards / your big-time bookings.
What are those for you? Do you if you can get into any? I mean, what are awards for the, like, how do you?
I won't say awards, happen? But like beating competitions. There's like battles and competitions.
Like DJ battle. Right. Right. Oh, those must be fun. Mm-hmm. That shit must be fun. That would be just, I guess, who can play the better set, right?
Who could play a better set, but then it comes into, depending on the battle. Like, I battled one time, and you're judged on your music choice, your creativity, how clean you are. So if your transitions don't sound clean or like smooth, obviously this points off.
Yes.
How technical you are, which means how well aware you are with your equipment. Like, some DJs will just press play, right? And go left, cross dissolve, left to right.
Exactly.
And then there's some people that would do like some funky shit with like the cue points, bunch of technical shit.
Yeah. I love that technical shit. You get, you get. I don't.
So
I don't care.
creativity, song selection, crowd reaction, how clean you are, and music choice. It's something that's what I was like judged on, and I think everything has its own criteria of winning. Awards for me, I don't have any DJ awards. I don't. But I'll tell you, my job is to make sure the GM knows my face and knows how well of a set I played every night. And I think by just playing humble, playing good music, rocking the party, and doing good business gets your respect up. And then the second thing for me is creating a community of people that are wolves, right? You surround yourself with wolves, and you're the last wolves. You surround yourself with 7 broke people, you'll be the 8th one.
Right.
So being around other good DJs, like my best friend's on radio. My best friend is on Q102.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? And he's on slot once a week.
That's cool. Yeah, that's right. And that goes with the respect thing that you were also talking about, just also who you surround yourself with. When you're DJing, do you get to interact with the people around you? Like, do you do that, or do you have to mostly just focus on DJing? Or
a little bit of both. I'm an asshole. I don't let anybody in the DJ booth.
Oh, really?
I don't. Like, there's too much equipment in here. There's not enough space.
Hold on, I'd rather have just died. Let me go. But you can keep talking.
I'd rather have like me and my 4 best friends in the booth than random girls, right? Because these random girls, what do they want? What do they really want?
What do they want?
Free liquor, maybe. Maybe clout. Because look, I was on the DJ booth. Some Snapchat videos. At the end of the day, bro, you're a liability. You spill a drink on my turntable mixer or my laptop mid-set, I'm not getting booked. I'm not able to finish this gig or get booked next week. So you know what? I'm good. Stay the fuck out of my booth. You want a song request? Yo, it's $20.
Is that really, you charge for that?
Depending on where I am and your approach, yeah.
Oh wow, interesting. I don't even think that's that bad actually. $20 for.
I don't think so, man. Like, you want to listen to a song, plug your fucking AirPods in and open up Spotify. That ass, like, what the fuck are you at a club for? Especially during COVID, bro. Like, first of all, you come to my booth with no mask on. Then you're like trying to come into my ear. Like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. Yo, that's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not your. Yeah, exactly. You can choose to listen to whatever the fuck you want to at any moment.
I made a list a few days ago on Twitter, and I was like, look, if you're not a DJ, you're not with the DJ, you're not paying the DJ, get the fuck out the booth. That's it. Like, if you're not with the DJ, you're not the DJ. If you're not paying the DJ, then you shouldn't be in the booth.
Yeah, because it's just disrupting. Yeah, I mean, I've seen plenty of like instances of like, if you ever like viral videos of people fucking up like the DJ sets and shit, just shit going down in that area. Yeah, I can't even imagine. That must be
it's
a fucking
too risky
nightmare
for me, man. Just to have like 3 cute girls in the DJ booth, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, no, is that yeah. Oh, and you mentioned COVID. How has that affected everything that you've been doing?
So at first, it was like we were all scrambling, right? Because when March hit, it was like the second week of March. We're all scrambling. We just went from DJing in the clubs, packed out, to next week it's like it's ghost town. So now at one point we were all learning how to stream using OBS, using green screens, using flashes.
Yeah, there was. I mean, and obviously, what the fuck is his name? There was one DJ on Instagram when he was on Instagram Live. D-Nice. He was the one that kind of like really popped off.
Yeah, because he had apparently he brokered a deal with Instagram, or it was a 3-way deal with Instagram and one of the record labels.
Yeah.
So if he was to play any songs, he doesn't get kicked off because he's verified by all these things.
Wow, that's
so like
crazy.
Jazzy Jeff, he'll probably never get kicked off on Instagram Live,
right?
Because he has roots and it's probably like there's some deal going on with copywriting.
Yeah.
Whereas I remember when Instagram Live first came on, I used to be on it an hour a day and not get kicked off. And then copyright came in. I played one Drake song, I'm kicked off.
Damn.
So after that, we learned streaming. We learned, at one point, it was like, funny story. At one point, we all moved into my best friend's house.
Okay. Because
all his roommates went on spring break at Drexel. And they're like, yo, we're not coming back. So there's 6 bedrooms in there. So we're like, fuck it. We're going to just make this place a dojo. You're producing in one room. You're working on your scratches in another room. Like, we're learning how to cook. We're we're recording mixes every day, and it's like a workhouse from 9 to 5 or like 9 to 9 actually, like all around the clock. We're just working. We might be drinking and partying, but most of it is like based around DJing.
Honing your craft. Yeah.
And that was an era, and during that era we learned how to stream, and then after that things started opening up outside, outdoors events like table service, and that was a learning curve too, because I feed off of energy off of the dance floor. Now these people aren't allowed to dance except for stand up at their chairs, right? So now a lot of people come. I've had the opportunity to play at the spot consistently because of my best friend was booked there, and I've seen DJs come in as guest DJs and they still play their club set, and it's like, damn, homie, you have not been working. You have not been working.
Yeah. You haven't noticed things have changed. Yeah,
things are a lot different. Like, the way I play is a little different than what I was playing 7 months ago. And obviously there's evolution, but it's also like reading the crowd. You know, I can't play twerk music all night if there's no dance floor.
Yeah, everybody is sitting down with their masks on. You're playing fucking WAP.
I mean, look, I'll still play WAP. By the time the night gets late, you know what I mean? It gets a little lit. The rules kind of bend, and people are dancing at their tables. But now I'm DJing at a steakhouse, which I never imagined this shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
DJing at a steakhouse.
That's crazy.
And it's like, okay.
How the fuck was that? What was that? Please get into that. That sounds crazy.
Mad fun.
Really?
Because like I told you, I want to do upscale, sexier vibe, loungy shit.
Yeah.
What am I doing at a steakhouse that's by a pool? Right? So I'm playing upscale, up-tempo, sexier, loungy shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I could get down with this. And then the owner comes up to me, and I know the owner, and he's like, look, this is going to be the bridge between like luxury dining and nightlife. I don't want it to be I don't want to be black. I don't want it to be white. I want it right in the middle. Like, I want you to tie it in.
Yeah.
So I'm still playing some party bangers or like remixes, but I'm still keeping it like a vibe.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's been a learning curve for everybody, I think, and some people are ahead of the curve, some people are behind. Like, I'll say my best friend is DJing at a liquor store.
Okay.
But not like, it's not like on a Tuesday we're showing up. It's like he's making mixes, like 12 hours of mixes for their stores. They have multiple stores. So he's making mixes for like 12 hours of music every month and sending them out. It's a corporate check, bro.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Right.
He's making a green screen video once every 2 weeks for them.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. I just realized, because I was kind of confused. I was like, at a liquor store, but what you're saying with the actual mix and sending it in, and the fact that it's like you said, it's corporate.
Just the radio.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, corporate. I mean, any corporate. But that's the thing they say. Don't they say this, like, even though corporate pays a lot, it's also like shitty. It's like a bad experience.
I mean, look, I'm not working corporate. I'm getting corporate money. Right? So it's like the corporate is just cutting the check. Right. But look, would you rather DJ on your Instagram live for 12 people or would you rather get a check?
Yeah. At that point, yeah, fuck that. It doesn't matter. Okay. I want to go.
If you're booked, you're booked, right?
Right. You that's the whole point.
Some people haven't been booked in 7 months. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to play a sound effect. I don't see. I fucking need that, man. This is the second time my guest has told me that I need that fucking sound effect, and I always forget. I have this. That's not good. Yes, that doesn't make sense in this context.
It does for the people that haven't worked in 7 months.
Oh yeah, let me do that again. That's true. Yeah, I feel bad for y'all. Yo, you know what's crazy? Well, I just wanted to ask you too. Like, what was the first? At what moment you're like, okay, this is working? Now,
like DJing is working?
Yeah. Because like you said, for a while, you're obviously doing it for free and you're trying to get the experience and you're learning. But what's the moment where it's like, okay, this is going somewhere that you can remember? Because that's always interesting for anybody.
It goes two ways, because I was doing a lot of weddings as a roadie. A roadie is one of the guys that helps out, lifts equipment, sets it up, breaks it down. And the company I work for, bro, I was getting paid like $300-$400 for one day just to pick up speakers.
That's
just not just to pick up speakers,
but part of
bro. I'm literally just setting up and breaking down and assisting, right? So imagine how much the DJ is making when I get to that level in that company. I don't know, but so I was getting paid early college for that shit, But to DJ itself, I think when I first got Noto, and then I got Noto again the next month, and then the next month, and then it became 10 months in a row, like once a month, one Saturday out of the month for the next 10 months.
That's where you're like, okay,
I'm like,
I'm good.
okay, this is what I want to do for sure. Like I knew for a fact that's what I wanted to do. Where'd you go to school? Like in Temple?
Like what? Klein.
Klein.
So it's the communications, area.
So I was a Fox student, Fox School of Business. I was
okay.
an accounting major for 2 years, and I looked around my classroom one day, and I was just like, I don't want to sit next to these pricks in suits.
No. Bro, that's so funny you say that real quick. I don't want to interrupt you, but I remember like in orientation day, welcome week or welcome day. You know when they do that event where they're welcoming all the accepted students at Temple? And there's like a moment where like people have to go to the different areas of their majors. And at this point, I wasn't a business major, but I had told my dad I was a business major, and we had to stay at the business like event. Bro, I was like, "There's no fucking way I'm doing business
for
major
4 years, and then for the rest of my life, fuck that.
Bro, I was
shit.
looking at these people around and what they were talking about, and everybody. I was like, "There's no way I can't do this. I'm just not this formal of a person. I would die in this sort of formal situation. You know what I mean? Like I can't do this. But yeah, I can only. I felt the same way that you felt, probably seeing everybody in suits and like paying attention. It's like,
not
like
cool with this,
everything's
bro.
always serious. It's like no,
These kids are going to class in suits, and
that's
I'm
crazy.
Like, man,
that's crazy.
I'm like, bro, I'm not doing this for another 2 years, and then I'm not going to an office for the rest of my life till I'm retiring and sit with these pricks in suits.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it. So I switched my major. I went to Klein.
Okay,
you know what I mean? And then the kid that was sitting in front of me is now the kid taking pictures of me at Noto. The kid sitting next to me in my other class is like mixing, mastering my mixes. I bring over a case of beers and a pizza, and it's a block away from my house. So now I'm making friends in the field I'm doing it in.
Yes,
and
very
now
important.
I have friends that make my logos and my graphics and all that stuff.
They're all in Klein. That's all Klein shit. Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
So
that's
that was
true.
a blessing. That was a
great.
huge blessing.
That's definitely that makes sense. Okay, we're winding down here. We've been recording for an hour. This was an amazing conversation. A lot of interesting shit. Let's do this because I don't want to get incriminated. People are like, "Yo, you're giving handshakes on camera."
Yo,
it's
man,
COVID.
we got soap and water right there, bro. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly. we wash our hands. We have one of those. Soap kills it, I hear. So, isn't that crazy that something just washing your hands can kill COVID, and then all these people are dying? That's kind of nuts.
People are fucking stupid.
That's true. People are dirty as fuck too. So, it's
you know what though? Like, I don't want to incriminate nobody, but like, COVID gave me a good reason to tell people to stay the fuck away from me.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, nah, you can't get in on this.
Nah, I feel you. You don't even gotta go further than that. All right, the way to end this episode, because I always struggle, because I still haven't come up with a good segment to end these episodes, because it's always, I don't know, it feels awkward at the end to like end it. But I guess I'll say, what's one last thing you just want to say to the people listening? It could be about whatever, anything you would like to tell them if they're listening. Now you have like a spot. Okay, for these last minute 30 seconds, I'm gonna tell you this, and I want you to listen to me. What would you say to them?
Yo, so this is gonna be a bunch of scrambled thoughts.
Just go off, bro.
But the one thing I could tell the listeners or anybody that I really want to talk to, or like anybody listening, it's like, I'm a huge Nipsey fan, so it's all about a marathon. Like, it's all about the marathon. You take 2 steps back, it's fine. You take 5 steps back, it's fine. You just gotta you get confused, you just work harder and keep moving forward, because at the end of the day, you have to trust yourself to move forward, right? And you probably had mad trust in yourself to have all this set up, and this probably wasn't day one, right? And every day is progress. You might step back, but then progress. I've been DJing for 10 years, and I didn't see my face on the flyer till 9 years in. But you know what? It's a marathon. I've seen people come in here, get burnt out, and they became retired in like a year. But whatever gets built overnight falls the next morning. And Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So I think that's what I would leave people off with. Like, everything takes time, and just stay patient. Just keep your head down till it's time to shine. All
right. That is a beautiful way to end this Wait, that's not what I wanted to play. Hold on. Where's the sound? Well, I guess I don't see it. Wait, where is it? It's like I thought I had a. I'm ruining your last words. I'm sorry about this.
Jesus Christ,
Where the
Eladio.
fuck? Yeah, my bad. I don't know. Where the fuck is it?
Nah, now
Where's the
just because you
sound?
did that, bro, we gotta play that Eladio dude on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, we gotta play that motherfucker for the song. This is what I wanted to play. Some wisdom right there. All right, Ron B, thank you so much for doing this episode. This was an amazing episode.
Thank you
A
for
lot of
having me.
jewels in there for anybody who's listening. Pay attention. There was a lot to learn from there in there. Yeah, thank you so much for doing this episode, and I'll see you guys in episode 95 next week. Thank you for listening. Psych, the episode is not done. Now I'm doing outros for every episode. I think this is what I'm going to do moving on to kind of reflect on what that episode was. That I told Ramby, I told him as he was leaving, that I think that might have been the best episode in a while. He's definitely one of my favorite guests I've ever had on the podcast because he's just a great speaker. And I mean, you know, when I'm doing a podcast, it's really all I want. It's just, I'm going to have great speakers on a podcast. And he was that. And I mean, I found his story fascinating with just the, you know, the everything you have to do when you're a DJ, you know, that the misconceptions, like the struggles that you go through, like the journeys that you have to go through. And everything that he talked about, I thought it was all interesting. So that was definitely one of my favorite episodes I've done in a while. So yeah, that was it for this episode. Make sure you follow him on his social media. So I'm going to put all that in the description of this episode. Also, make sure you follow me at Eladio Talks, Eladio Talks, on Instagram and Twitter if you want to follow me and know what I am keeping, you know, if you want to keep up with me and know what I'm doing. Those are my social medias. Also, make sure to follow the brand's social media at My Empty Opinions on Instagram and Twitter to know all the content that I'm putting out through there. You know, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please rate it 5 stars and leave a review. If you do leave a review, this is what happens. You know, I read it out loud in the episode. So the last review, this review actually came out October 6th, and I hadn't checked because usually nobody ever leaves a review. But this is from The Dominican 13. Amazing podcast, exclamation marks. It has 5 stars. This is a great podcast as it deserves more 5 stars than reviews. Now that I'm looking at this, I think this might have been my sister being supportive. I appreciate you, Carmen, if that was you. If not, I appreciate whoever did it, regardless. So there you go. I read your reviews out loud if you leave a review on the podcast. And also, if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel. You know, hit the notification bell to know when new episodes come out. You know, like this video. If you like this video, comment your favorite part of this whole podcast. And share this episode with a friend if you think they might enjoy it. And, you know, that's about it for this episode. That was a great episode. That was episode 94. And I'll see you guys next week for episode 95. And I guess if you're listening to the very end, I appreciate you. You know, my sister, what she does on her YouTube channel, if anybody watches to the end, they comment a specific phrase, but that feels too weird. So, that feels kind of too, like, fake for me. You know what I mean? I appreciate that you guys are watching till the end, but I don't want to make you do extra effort. Just know that, you know, if you, I hear you or I see you. I don't see you or hear you. I have no idea if there's anybody even listening or watching to the end of this episode. But I just want to say I really fucking appreciate you. You're why I do this. And I love you. That might come on too strong, but I just had to say it. All right, that's enough for this episode. Let me fucking wrap this up real quick. That was episode 94 of the Empty Opinions podcast. And I'll catch you guys next week for episode 95. Peace.